You're right on time for Hope TV News Watch on this 11th day of July 2024, a day that will forever remain etched in Kenyan history as the day that a sitting president dissolved the cabinet under the 2010 constitution. The decision by President William Ruto to sack all his cabinet secretaries will definitely have implications on various aspects of the government and the country as a whole. To help us dissect this move by the head of state, I'll be joined in studio by former presidential aspirant Reuben Kigame, former presidential running mate Muthiora Kariara, and political risk analyst Esther Nyonje. A very good evening to you and welcome to the broadcast. My name is Kennedy Kimani. Now, in an unprecedented move, President William Ruto has dissolved his cabinet, dismissing all the cabinet secretaries. However, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi remain in their positions. Mudavadi, who also heads the Office of Diaspora and Foreign Affairs, continues to play a crucial role in the government. Here's Mombi Waweru with the report.
President Ruto's decision to dissolve the cabinet aims to combat corruption and streamline government operations. Musalia Mudavadi, the party leader of Amani National Congress and a key figure in the Kenya Kwanza coalition, will assist in coordinating and supervising government ministries and state departments. He also chairs the national government legislative agenda and oversees the implementation of government policies and projects in liaison with the ministry responsible for interior and national administration. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who was nominated as a running mate and subsequently declared Deputy President-elect by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, will continue to deputize the president. His responsibilities include chairing cabinet committees, overseeing the implementation of cabinet decisions, and coordinating intergovernmental relations. He also chairs the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council.
I have today, in line with the powers given to me by Article 1521 and 1525B of the Constitution and Sections 12 of the Office of the Attorney General's Act, decided to dismiss with immediate effect all the Cabinet Secretaries and Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, of the Cabinet of Kenya, except the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs. And of course, the Office of the Deputy President is not affected in any way.
While principal secretaries will temporarily manage ministries to ensure uninterrupted government operations, President Ruto has promised to announce additional measures soon. His administration is focused on accelerating urgent and irreversible implementation of programs, addressing debt burdens, expanding revenue, eliminating wastage, and enhancing government efficiency and effectiveness. Mombi Waweru, Hope TV News Watch.
Well, thank you so much, Mombi, for that report. Now, Kenyans have welcomed President William Ruto's decision to dissolve his cabinet, terming the move as a success following the mass protest witnessed in the country. However, the pressure keeps mounting, with many now demanding for accountability and for proper channels to curtail corruption. As Faith Kaulu now reports, the planned talks, scheduled to begin this coming Monday, continue to elicit mixed reactions from Kenyans.
Our universal health coverage plan has already onboarded.
Today's speech from President William Ruto has been received by cheer and smiles by many Kenyans across the country, many stating that Ruto's decision to dissolve the cabinet is a step towards the right direction.
Kwa Kiswahili sijui wanasemaje, lakini ni wa corrupt. So, rais amefanya jambo la busara, na kama angeendelea, kama akiacha mambo mengi ya kuzungumza na afanye atimize matakwa ya Gen Z, maisha itakuwa safi.
Kwa hatua leo yenye rais amefanya, hii ni kati ya hatua kubwa zaidi ambayo ameanzisha kuifanya leo, sababu samaki mmoja akioza inamaanisha wote wameoza.
Kwangu vile naona hii mambo ya maandamano ndio kidogo imemsukuma mpaka ikabidi afanye hivyo. Kwa sababu kama ingekuwa si maandamano, hao watu wote walikuwa wamelala kwa kazi. President amelala kwa kazi, mawaziri wote wamelala kwa kazi, hakuna mtu alikuwa anafanya kazi. Hii maandamano kwanza imekuja vizuri, ndio imemstua ikafanya aangalie kumbe huku kwa sekta yangu kuna ukora, kuna wizi, kuna hii na hii.
In line with the mass
Sasa mimi
protest
naona hii
demanding for
maandamano imekuja
accountability
vizuri.
and good governance, Kenyans still believe there is a long way to go. Many are now calling upon President William Ruto to come up with proper channels that will help curtail corruption.
Ile kitu inatusumbua kama Wakenya na tunazidi kuumia na kuzidi kuumia ni corruption. So kama rais angaangalia mahali pale ya corruption baada ya kuwafuta, either kama kuna mtu yeyote alikuwa ameinvolve kwa corruption, hiyo pesa ifuatiliwe na ichukuliwe iende kwa gala ya serikali.
On the question of whether to continue with the protest as planned or not, the scheduled talks set to kick off this Monday continue to elicit mixed reactions.
Kama maandamano ingekuja, definitely mawaziri wangefutwa na maybe mambo mapya ambayo tunatarajia hayangetokea, lakini kwa sasa tunatarajia mengi.
Hiyo yenye amefanya bado sisi hatujaona kama tumeridhika nayo, kwa sababu hata kama atafuta hawa mawaziri wote, bado ile kitu tunataka ni yeye ajiuzuru tu, atoke kwa hii serikali, kwa sababu wizi inaonekana kutoka kwa mawaziri mpaka kwake yeye mwenyewe. Kwa hivyo yeye aangalie hiyo kabineti yake vizuri, vile amefuta hao watu wote, na yeye kwanza ajiangalie. Kwanza tunamwambia hii maandamano inakuja ya tarehe 16, ajipange na sisi vizuri.
Speaking to Bravin Yuvri, one of the key figures who took part in the online activism and protest on the X platform, he strongly believes that Ruto's decision to dissolve cabinet today has been influenced by the ongoing protests that mounted pressure on him.
Most of the cabinet secretaries have not been delivering on what they need to be doing as cabinet secretaries, and there are a lot of issues in so many with so many departments, that is. And if you just look even from, let's talk about from interior, there's a lot of issues. If you go to agriculture, a lot of issues. You go to education, issues. Like every department has an issue. So yes, it's a win. We can't say it's a loss because they are not in office right now. So it's a win because it's one of the things that we were pushing for as part of the changes. So it's a win and we can take that for now.
In his statement this afternoon, President William Ruto might have intimated on the possibility of an inclusive cabinet featuring members of the opposition, a move that will definitely raise more questions than answers Kenyans think have been found today.
That is even exactly something I've just posted a few minutes ago, because when we talk about creating something that's broader, that's definitely putting in mind that the opposition just had more of a handshake with the government. I'm presuming that they're definitely going to submit names to put in the cabinet, and the moment they do that, then I can fully consider that Kenya does not have even an opposition. So we are the full opposition at the moment. So what I can say is we are going to expect names definitely from the opposition and other names from the government. But at the same time, I really hope that they will not return anyone who was in the previous cabinet in the new cabinet that they'll make, because it will be making one step forward and two steps backward. But at the same time, I think and I hope that even the youth faces will be represented in the new cabinet, because if you look at the other old cabinet, it basically had people who didn't even listen to the voices of the youth.
Bearing in mind the steps taken by the president since the beginning of mass protests led by the Gen Z, Bravin believes that it is not yet Uhuru, urging all Kenyans to remain focused in demanding for good governance, justice, and a corrupt-free government.
Okay, about the maandamano, we can say yes, we are leaderless, and people are demonstrating in different parts of the country today. There's been a demonstration in Bomet. If you had seen that, and I think it's even good that this has happened. That would make even people have the spirit to push even harder, because they know things will happen. But we also have some issues that people have been discussing on X Spaces and different platforms that would like to see. For example, the return of things like Linda Mama and so many other issues that people are putting to the table, like even medical interns to be posted. There are so many other issues that we're packing. So this one is just one of the list of things that we wanted the government to do. And since they have done this one of it, they have not checked all the lists. So one done, but there are more to come, which they must fix.
As many Kenyans on social media are now fond of saying, does the pressure increase or decrease? Today's move by the president to dissolve his cabinet has been termed by many Kenyans as a victory following the mass protest led by the Gen Zs. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, my name is Faith Kaulu.
Thank you so much, Faith, for that report. Now, 22 cabinet secretaries are now rendered jobless following President William Ruto's decision that has also seen the sacking of the country's Attorney General, Justin Muturi. The drastic move follows weeks of massive nationwide demonstrations led by the Gen Z demanding more accountability from the government. And as Grace Ahati now reports, the dissolution of Ruto's cabinet, however, does not affect Prime Cabinet Secretary and Foreign Affairs CS Musalia Mudavadi and the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
Following weeks of mounting pressure on the government coupled by massive nationwide protests, President William Ruto has now dissolved his cabinet, sending home all cabinet secretaries and the Attorney General. This move comes after a holistic appraisal of his cabinet, extensive reflection and listening to Kenyans, in which Ruto has noted that government operations will continue with ease under the stewardship of principal secretaries as he now seeks to improve service delivery to Kenyans. Despite the sweeping changes in the cabinet, President Ruto has clarified that certain positions are exempt from this restructuring, this being the office of the Deputy President and the office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, who also serves as the Foreign Affairs CS.
I will immediately engage in extensive consultations across different sectors and political formations and other Kenyans, both in public and private, with the aim of setting up a broad-based government that will assist me in accelerating and expediting the necessary, urgent, and irreversible implementation of the program that we have, including other radical measures and programs.
The president has at the same time highlighted some of the major milestones achieved by the Kenya Kwanza government since he took over the realms of power in September 2022. Among them is the stabilization of the economy and the rolling out of the affordable housing program, which has continued to create job opportunities for Kenyans across the country.
We have achieved significant progress in increasing food production by reducing the cost of farm inputs, thereby lowering the cost of food and lowering the cost of living. We have stabilized the economy by preventing what was an imminent debt default. We have stabilized fuel prices, lowered inflation to an all-record low of 4.6%.
Addressing critical issues such as healthcare, President Ruto has also noted that the newly established Social Health Insurance Fund (SHIF), a key component of the UHC agenda, will be rolled out officially on October 1st, 2024.
Our Universal Health Coverage Plan has already onboarded 107 community health promoters, and the process of registration for our social health insurance fund is ongoing, on its way to launch on the new date of 1st of October 2024 that will make it possible for every Kenyan to have a health insurance and for those suffering from critical illnesses to have access to the critical illness fund.
The decision to dissolve the entire cabinet is, however, unusual, coming less than 2 years into the Kenya Kwanza regime. The last time such a move was made was in 2005, when then President the late Mwai Kibaki took a similar action following a referendum defeat over a proposed new constitution. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Grace Ahati.
Now, a complete dissolution of a cabinet is a rare and drastic measure, usually indicative of significant political shifts or a national crisis. However, today's move by President William Ruto to dissolve his cabinet is not a new sight in Kenya, as it marks the second instance in Kenya's history where a sitting president has taken such an action, the first being 19 years ago by the late President Mwai Kibaki in 2005. Here's Ian Githuku with more.
Today's move by President Ruto came as an unprecedented and surprising move to many Kenyans. However, today's dissolution of the cabinet by President Ruto is not a new sight in the Kenyan political history. 19 years ago, back in 2005, Kenya saw former President Mwai Kibaki dissolve his entire cabinet following a defeat in a constitutional referendum.
May the new constitutional dispensation be our shield and defender as we strive to conquer poverty, disease, and ignorance. There will be challenges along the way.
Kibaki's decision to dissolve his entire cabinet marked the first instance of such a scenario in Kenya. The decision, made in December 7, 2005, came at a time where Kenya faced political turbulence following the opposition of the proposed draft constitution that saw 58% of voters vote against it in the referendum. The defeat was a significant blow to President Kibaki and exposed deep rifts within the ruling coalition. In this connection, President Kibaki took the drastic step of dissolving his entire cabinet, a move that was seen as a response to the political crisis and an attempt to reassert his authority.
Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs, and of course, the office of the Deputy President is not affected in any way. I will immediately engage in extensive consultations across different sectors and political formations and other Kenyans, both in public and private.
The dissolution of the cabinet by President Ruto is guided by the Kenyan Constitution. According to Article 132 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the President has the authority to appoint and dismiss cabinet secretaries. This constitutional mandate allows the President to make sweeping changes in the executive branch, such as performing cabinet reshuffles and dissolutions to ensure that the government functions effectively and efficiently.
And programs to deal with the burden of debt, to explore raising domestic resources and revenues, expanding job opportunities, eliminating wastage.
In explaining his directive, President Ruto stated that his decision, however hard, was necessary as it ensures Kenyans have a government that is responsive to their needs and capable of driving the country's development agenda forward. For Hope TV Newswatch, my name is Ian Githuku.
Well, it is 22 minutes past the top of the hour. Time now for a short break, but immediately after I'll be back with more news, still with our big interview of the day on Ruto's acts on his cabinet. Stick around.
Are you tired of math feeling like a never-ending maze of frustration? Well, say hello to the Equation Explorer, the first math board game in Kenya. It's not just a game, it's an experience. Imagine a world where math isn't a headache, but a thrilling adventure. The Equation Explorer is your ticket to turning math time into the highlight of your day. Whether you're gathered around the kitchen table for some family fun or sparking curiosity in the classroom, the Equation Explorer makes learning math simple and fun. Get ready to embark on your journey where creativity meets math. With the Equation Explorer, every equation you create is a step closer to victory. The Equation Explorer, where creativity meets math.
Rafiki soul is the promise of a hand that reaches and goes beyond watangaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful, ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful, ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki soul is a promise of a hand that reaches and goes beyond watangaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful, ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful, ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki msoul.
Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive.
I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, it becomes better, and I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Sindio?
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on Leadership Forum. Do they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcast?
Really? Even Meet of the One?
Yeah. I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live. Welcome to the world of Hope Media, a media unit of Christ is the Answer Ministries that is committed to spreading the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ through the transformative power of media. Hope Media is dedicated to utilizing various forms of media to spread the message of hope, love, and redemption to all people around the world. Hope Media consists of various units that work together to achieve this goal. These units include Hope FM. Hope FM is your #1 Christian radio station offering you discussions on current day-to-day issues, inspiring music, life-changing sermons, and news updates, broadcasting 80% in English and 20% in Swahili, with listenership of over 12 million every month. Hope TV. Hope TV programming is designed to inspire, educate, and challenge the viewer with wholesome content to reach various demographic groups, children, youth, and adults, both male and female, with viewership of over 24 million every month. Hope Recording Studios. Hope Recording Studios is a state-of-the-art recording facility that offers high-quality recording, mixing, and mastering services. It is designed to meet the needs of musicians, artists, and other creative professionals who require top-notch recording facilities. Hope Creative. At Hope Creatives, we believe that inspiring graphic design work doesn't just happen. It takes the right people with wild, out-of-the-box ideas committed to the same ideals, working together to make it happen. We listen, we learn, we brand. Hope Digital. Hope Digital is a creative digital unit within Hope Media. We are driven by a passion to creatively express ourselves while influencing you with the same creative energy in online spaces and beyond. At Hope Media, we believe that media can be a powerful tool for spreading the message of hope as well as grow your business through advertisements. And we do this with excellence. For more information regarding our services, please visit www.hopemediakenya.org or call us on 0709 861 180. Hope Media. We keep hope alive.
Because women talk more and they are not very strong physically, when they want to hurt their husbands or their children or anybody, they use the tongue.
Families under God.
How can we continue to live carelessly in ease?
Join Reverend Dr. Judy Mbugua as she imparts families through prayer, evangelism, and social transformation with the Word of God.
You know, God is not asking you to manage. He's asking you to be available. Amen. And He will make you able and capable.
Families under God, only on Hope TV. Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content, of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
Welcome back. Now, 22 cabinet secretaries are now rendered jobless following President William Ruto's decision to fire his cabinet, with the exemption of Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua. Now, the decision by President William Ruto will definitely have implications on various aspects of the government and the country as a whole. To help us dissect this move by the head of state, I'm now joined in studio by former presidential running mate Muthiora Karriara and political risk analyst Esther Nyonje. Now, former presidential aspirant Reuben Kigame is joining us virtually. And allow me to start with Reuben Kigame. Mr. Reuben Kigame, if you can hear me, you've been so vocal in criticizing the Kenya Kwanza government. Are you satisfied with President William Ruto's move to sack the cabinet? All right, Esther, let me pick your mind on the same. You've been really vocal in talking about these issues of governance of the Kenya Kwanza government. And the Gen Zs, one of the major demands was the sacking of the cabinet. Now that it has happened, is it a win for the Gen Zs?
It is a win. That is the straight answer.
Mm-hmm.
It is a win. That however we have the effects of slow delivery, I believe that is the president's doing. He brought that to himself, because those Gen Zs are the same Gen Zs who voted for him, most of them. But where he started losing it, at the first point, was the appointment of his CSs. If you remember, we did not have any confidence with his CSs. Now, as Ruben, the former presidential running candidate, says that he wonders why he left Mudavadi. For myself, I'm too excited to even think about that, but I should be thinking about it because I also went to the streets. I asked for a cabinet overhaul. So when I see it happening, coming from a place where everyone thought that Ruto is a dictator, that he takes after Moi, that he will never listen to you young people, that we've always told him these things, but he has never done it. But consider, this is a second win. We asked him to withdraw the finance bill. He did it. He did not want to do it, but he had our voice. Now, this is the second win. And then speaking about the prime CS still being on that seat, well, it is unconstitutional. But my thought is, for now, I don't think the government could be left with the president and the deputy, just like that, for the government running. So Musalia Mudavadi had to be there to fill in that space of the picture of a cabinet. That as much I want to think that he kind of has some special favor. Because
all right, Esther, just hold that thought. We need to fix a little bit of sound issue. We'll be back after this short break. Sound gani?
I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, it becomes better, and I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Sindio?
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on leadership forum. Did they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcasts?
Really? Even Meet of the Wild?
I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website, www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live.
Rafiki soul is the promise of a hand that reaches and goes beyond watangaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful, ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful, ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki soul is a promise of a hand that reaches and goes beyond watangaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful, ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful, ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki msoul.
Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive.
Are you tired of math feeling like a never-ending maze of frustration? Well, say hello to the Equation Explorer, the first math board game in Kenya. It's not just a game, it's an experience. Imagine a world where math isn't a headache, but a thrilling adventure. The Equation Explorer is your ticket to turning math time into the highlight of your day. Whether you're gathered around the kitchen table for some family fun or sparking curiosity in the classroom, the Equation Explorer makes learning math simple and fun. Get ready to embark on your journey where creativity meets math. With the Equation Explorer, every equation you create is a step closer to victory. The Equation Explorer, where creativity meets math.
Welcome to the world of Hope Media, a media unit of Christ is the Answer Ministries that is committed to spreading the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ through the transformative power of media. Hope Media is dedicated to utilizing various forms of media to spread the message of hope, love, and redemption to all people around the world. Hope Media consists of various units that work together to achieve this goal. These units include Hope FM. Hope FM is your #1 Christian radio station offering you discussions on current day-to-day issues, inspiring music, life-changing sermons, and news updates, broadcasting 80% in English and 20% in Swahili, with listenership of over 12 million every month. Hope TV. Hope TV programming is designed to inspire, educate, and challenge the viewer with wholesome content to reach various demographic groups, children, youth, and adults, both male and female, with viewership of over 24 million every month. Hope Recording Studios. Hope Recording Studios is a state-of-the-art recording facility that offers high-quality recording, mixing, and mastering services. It is designed to meet the needs of musicians, artists, and other creative professionals who require top-notch recording facilities. Hope Creative. At Hope Creatives, we believe that inspiring graphic design work doesn't just happen. It takes the right people with wild out-of-the-box ideas committed to the same ideals, working together to make it happen. We listen, we learn, we brand. Hope Digital. Hope Digital is a creative digital unit within Hope Media. We are driven by a passion to creatively express ourselves while influencing you with the same creative energy in online spaces and beyond. At Hope Media, we believe that media can be a powerful tool for spreading the message of hope as well as grow your business through advertisements, and we do this with excellence. For more information regarding our services, please visit www.hopemediakenya.org or call us on 0709 861 180. Hope Media. We keep hope alive.
You, the listener, are the reason why we go on air. You, the friend of hope, are the reason why hope is alive. You have helped us take hope across the country and to the rest of the world. Through your giving, we have been on air for 18 years and witnessed many people coming to the Lord. Through your giving, we have expanded our reach to 3 new regions, namely Kisii, Nyeri, and Meru. Through your giving, we have expanded our reach to an international audience through DSTV and GoTV platforms. Thank you for your sacrifice and generosity toward this great initiative. As we continue spreading hope to the other unreached regions in Kenya, you are invited to be part of the Friends of Hope through a contribution of any amount via M-Pesa Paybill 933933, account name FOH. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive. God bless you.
I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, it becomes better, and I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Sindio?
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on Leadership Forum. Did they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcast?
Really? Even Meet of the World?
I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live.
Hello there, praise the name of the Lord. My name is Evelyn Wanjuro. To get Naiwe Maombi as your skiza tune, SMS skiza 8830022 to 811. Hope Skiza, spreading the hope.
Rafiki soul is the promise of a hand that reaches and goes beyond what angaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki soul is a promise of a hand that reaches and goes beyond what angaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki soul.
Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive.
To get Ebenezer by Jane Allaire as your Skiza tune, SMS the word Skiza 88300023 and send to 811. Hope Skiza, spreading the hope.
Thank you for choosing Hope TV, the channel that brings you hope, entertainment, and inspiration. We value you and would like to serve you better. Talk to us by scanning this QR code on your screen or go to our social media page at Hope TV Kenya and click on the survey link by the name Hope TV Survey. It will just take a few minutes but means the world to us. We value your feedback. Hope TV, look and live.
Aya, I'm not Go TV stream. It's free.
Go TV stream iko mkononi na ni free. Download Go TV stream app for free. Enjoy live TV na shows kamia nane. Download and watch later anytime, anywhere. Go TV stream iko mkononi na ni free. Available to active subscribers. Go TV. Love it.
Because women talk more and they are not very strong physically, when they want to hurt their husbands or their children or anybody, they use the tongue.
Families under God.
How can we continue to live carelessly in ease?
Join Reverend Dr. Judy Mbugua as she imparts families through prayer, evangelism, and social transformation with the Word of God.
You know, God is not asking you to manage. He's asking you to be available. Amen. And He will make you able and capable.
Families under God, only on Hope TV.
Are you tired of math feeling like a never-ending maze of frustration? Well, say hello to the Equation Explorer, the first math board game in Kenya. It's not just a game, it's an experience. Imagine a world where math isn't a headache, but a thrilling adventure. The Equation Explorer is your ticket to turning math time into the highlight of your day. Whether you're gathered around the kitchen table for some family fun or sparking curiosity in the classroom, the Equation Explorer makes learning math simple and fun. Get ready to embark on your journey where creativity meets math. With the Equation Explorer, every equation you create is a step closer to victory. The Equation Explorer, where creativity meets math.
Welcome back. You're watching Hope TV News, which really do apologize for the slight technical hitch, but we are now back. Now, 22 cabinet secretaries are now rendered jobless following President William Ruto's decision to fire his cabinet with the exemption of Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua. Now, the decision by President Ruto will definitely have implications on various aspects of the government and the country as a whole. To help us dissect this move by the head of state, I'm now joined in studio by former presidential running mate Muthiora Kariara and political risk analyst Esther Nyonje. Karibuni sana to the studio.
Thank you.
Esther, let me begin with you. Are you satisfied with President William Ruto's move to fire his cabinet?
I am halfway, or say quarter, satisfied with his move to dissolve cabinet, because it came from the voice of the people, and the president having to listen to the voice of the people is a win for democracy. It is not a win for William Ruto. It's a win for the people. And I say it's the second win because the first win was when the people asked the president to withdraw the finance bill, and he did withdraw it. Why I say I'm halfway satisfied is because he did not have to be told that. When we voted for William Ruto, and most of the people who went to the streets to protest against his government are the same people who voted for him. And when we went to the streets to agitate our issues, we laid them down to him, and he took some time. He took his sweet time. It took lives. It took loss of property. It took back and forth blame games to get us to where we are, which should not be the case. Ideally, it is people who should be addressing the president and telling them what he should do, not the other way. That is how democracy works. But also thinking about it, the problem is not just William Ruto. I say the problem is the system. It is the system that has brought us to this place, that a president can campaign on a manifesto and say all the things he's gonna do, and then when he gets to power, he does the direct opposite. Because when we voted for him, we thought he's going to streamline the system, but he went there and became part of that system. So having said that, the fight is against the system.
The system.
Corruption, the high debt. Like you see, the debt is it's an acquired debt that you acquire from your previous president. So when he went there, we expected him to bring the debt down, not continue borrowing. So the problem is the system, and he needs to take tough measures to fight that system, because you understand that this is not the only youth uprising that we've had that has brought reforms to Kenya. You know? And then with the era of new democracy and the digital uprising, Kenyans are more aware, they are more informed. We are products of the national curriculum that taught us, that we read books like The Enemy of the People and Damu Nyeusi and Mstahiki Meya. So we are informed, and we'll have to keep him accountable. So it is a good start, but he has a lot of work to do. And he himself said that people have high expectations on him. So he should be up to the task na ajue hapo sikulala.
All right, you've heard what Esther said, and let me pick your mind on the same. President William Ruto is not just a president, he's a politician, and many have termed him a smart politician in that sense. Does President William Ruto has hidden cards in all this?
Well, I think he's moved most of the pieces he had on the board, and right now he's got just one more move left, which is exit Dr. William Samoei Ruto. For him to govern, he needed a cabinet. He's fired it, save for the one person that's currently left. The people are thankful for that move, but then they're saying he needs to go the whole hog, which is, it's not just the cabinet that let Kenya down, it's also the president or the presidency. So, yes, someone needed to fire the cabinet, and that's the president. Now, what he's left to do, together with his deputy, is to say, we are also stepping aside so you Kenyans can figure out who can get this job done as you've demanded for it to be done. Because clearly, we seem not to be getting what you guys are saying.
All right. You've talked about the resignation of the presidency, and the sacking of cabinet secretaries has political implications. And how does the mass sacking of the CSs affect the political stability of the country at the moment?
Well, to begin with, let me put the record straight that from the very beginning when this cabinet was appointed, I was opposed to its composition because, number one, it had people who had court cases that were going on about corrupt dealings with which they had been charged. You look at the mismatch of competencies and qualifications, and you realize that it didn't appear from the very beginning like these people are being hired to come get a proper job done. So we ended up with a very uninspiring and incompetent cabinet. And the results that we have today do not surprise us because that's what you expect. You put in garbage, you will get garbage out of the system. So that aside, let's ask ourselves, how did we get here? We got here because the president was looking to reward those who had helped him to get elected president. So he didn't just look at their qualifications and competencies. He was looking to say, thank you very much for bringing in the votes. You may not have clinched the position you wanted, but then since I got the position that we were gunning for, here is a reward for you. And then for you, because you did a bit more, you can step down from the position for which you were elected. Come, let's serve where we have more flesh or more meat to eat. Because clearly, he didn't have to ask people like Murkomen to step down. Kenya has over 50 million people. And adults who are qualified, believe me, we have quite a number. So he didn't have to ask people who already had jobs to do for Kenyans to resign. So I will say this is just one of the steps that he needs to take. There is more to come, but then the picture is going to be complete when he steps down and asks Kenyans to figure out who will get the job done.
All right.
But you see, when we asked the president to step down, in my opening remarks, I said the problem is the system. The system is producing, the system has the same people producing the same results, you know? So when we ask the president to step down, constitutionally, we are looking at Rigathi Gachagua. We're still part of that system. So we won't be solving the problem. We'll be stepping away for a while, but not really addressing, putting a bandage on the wound, not treating the disease. So I really feel William Ruto he's the duly elected president. And the democracy that works for us is also the democracy that works for him. So because he was duly elected, why not why not go on with his term, with people being accountable, with him being accountable to people, and people also playing their part to keeping him on toes. And where he goes wrong, then we can put him out. And we need to see the tangible steps that he is taking to fix that system. Like what he's done is for a start. Now we look forward to what kind of CSS is he going to work with. Because you see, he said he's going to eliminate wastage, to bring out unnecessary duplication of government agencies and slay the dragon that is corruption. So I really feel we should give him a chance. We should give him some time to see if he's actually going to do what he's going to do. And I don't think he has a card because he had underrated this movement. We were being told, sisi ni watu wa KFC, like, you are kids, you can't tell us anything. They had underrated this movement, but they realized that this is bigger than it seems.
Muthiora, you've seen the president, the Attorney General, the former Attorney General, Justin Muturi, say that the president does not take advice. Now, the fact that the cabinet has been dissolved, and President William Ruto does not take advice, meaning that, allegedly, that the president is the one who advises the cabinet secretaries on what to do. So if Atoli appoints a new cabinet and he cannot take advice, how is that going to work?
It's still not going to work. And here is a hypothesis I have held for quite some time now. When he appointed that very incompetent cabinet, my thoughts were, he's done this because he wants to run the ministries from State House. So he just needs figureheads out there in the field, but in reality, the person doing the job, the person calling the shots in every ministry and department is William Ruto from State House. Now, it's a good thing that insiders are now coming to the public and saying, we attempted to give competent advice to the president, he did not take it. Sometimes when he should have consulted us, he did not. He went ahead and did that which he thought was right as per whatever information he had or what his judgment told him. So even now where we are at, suppose it's true that he has fired this cabinet because he's listened to Kenyans who have said, we do not want this incompetent cabinet. If indeed he listened to the people and did that, then he should also have heard that the people are not just dissatisfied by the performance of the cabinet, but by his own performance as well. So even if he goes on to appoint another cabinet, there is no guarantee that he's going to allow them to discharge their duties without him impeding into how they get that done. So still, we could find ourselves where we are today.
At the moment.
Otherwise, we should just go back to whatever we've been agitating, that Mr. President, listen to the people. And if you can't hear what the people are saying, then you have no business sitting on the presidency.
He has listened to the people, has he not? We asked him, the president wanted this finance bill passed. With his last gut, he wanted it passed. But at the last moment, before people said we are coming to occupy State House, he withdrew.
Because he was threatened.
Yes, if it has to take the threats for him to do that, then let's do it. That's the
not
way we're
listening.
going to go.
That's coercion. And here is the other thing you need to look at. His action today of firing the entire cabinet and leaving Musalia Mudavadi in office speaks volumes to the character of the man. And that is, number one, we know that he's tried to use Parliament to sanitize the position of the Prime Cabinet Secretary. But still, it doesn't hold. If indeed he listens, because this matter has been conversed in our courts, it has been conversed in our barazas, and established that we do not need to have this office. But still, Even when he had this very amazing courage and fired everyone, he still left this unconstitutional office in place.
Well,
that doesn't look like someone who listens.
Well, you say it's coercion, it's what? I say the end justifies the means. We do not have a 23 finance bill, and we do not have the same cabinet secretaries we were against. And he's not traveling. He's now holding virtual meetings in his office. The president is listening. Even if he did not want to listen, it has taken for something to happen for him to calm down his high horses. And about the office of the Prime CS, very unconstitutional. And that was one of the things that brought him all these problems. So him leaving it there, I'm looking at as a way of someone had to run government, and it fell on Musalia Mudavadi. And I tend to think that Musalia Mudavadi has a special favor because Moi wanted him, Kibaki wanted him, Uhuru wanted him, and now Ruto is still wanting him. But I'm looking at it this way, that this might be a short-term thing, very unconstitutional, yes. But you know, we are coming from, we can just wake up and the democracy changes and everything changes. We are taking the baby steps, and this is what it takes. It's the slow steps that are going to get us to where we want to be. So that office, I'm looking at it like it's going to be there for a while, and then we shall revisit. Because soberly speaking, I am saying that office is unconstitutional. You've taken the first step of firing your whole cabinet secretaries and your whole cabinet. So let him hold the office, yes, for PR purposes, fine.
Esther, what are you saying?
Yes, I am saying that, but we shall revisit because the cabinet cannot stay with the president and the deputy president. And I'm saying we are coming from somewhere.
Now, isn't that
even the fight against corruption and the fight against unconstitutionalism won't happen in a day? You have to agree with me. It won't happen in a day. Today it is sacking the... Why are we not talking about the IG? So let us start, why are we not talking about the Nairobi Adam Bungei, the Nairobi police spokesman? Because these things have to take time. And this person is coming from a very deep-rooted system that has instilled some very weird values in him. So let's appreciate it, not so much appreciating and losing the sight, but let us appreciate the baby steps that we are taking and keep the fight on.
Modera, you had something to say.
Yes, and it's with regard to saying that this is unconstitutional, but let's just do it. Esther, to get Kenya to where Kenya needs to be, we have to drain the swamp. That is, sweep
and we take
clean.
The steps. We take the steps
now,
to drain the swamp.
Bear in mind that the accounting officer in the ministries is the principal secretary. So we may not have cabinet secretaries, but then we have people running those ministries today. If Musalia Mudavadi was this stellar performer, we would have something to write about him by now. But then the fact that the cabinet he was overseeing had to be fired in totality speaks to his incompetence. He has no space in Kenya's leadership today. He was there during President Moi's time. He was there during President Kibaki's time. Uhuru, as you say, wanted him close by. I think if we were to be fair, he's had his chance. It's time we tried something else, someone else. That way, maybe Kenya will move to where it needs to be. We've been on a decline. It's time to stop the slide. And the only way to do that is stop digging, because you're already in a hole. Anything that is unconstitutional needs to be overturned. In fact, we should be asking for a refund from these cabinet secretaries for having been in office and not fulfilled that which they were getting paid to do. And they were not being paid pennies. They were being compensated heftily.
All right, Esther, as a political risk analyst, are we foreseeing another handshake government?
No. it cannot happen. It will not happen. And your points hold water. And yes, if the president was sincere about all this, then I don't see the point of Musalia Mudavadi. But again, I am thinking it as a point of the steps that I'm talking about, that we shall revisit. We are not going to sleep on our job. Today, I am happy, and my excitement has taken over that I'm not even giving so much thought into that office, but I'm still saying we shall revisit. We shall revisit about the position of the IG. We shall revisit about the Nairobi spokesman. We shall revisit about the report that hasn't come out about the lives that have been lost out of this finance bill. You saw the Prime Minister of UK apologizing to the people for failing to deliver. We also want the president to stand and say that Kenyans, I am sorry I put you in this position. You know, these are the things we want to see. So that one, I say put a pin on it. And then you say that, your question again?
Are we foreseeing a handshake government?
Now, the handshake government, with the meeting that the president had yesterday with Raila Odinga, it came out to Kenyans like that there was a possibility of another handshake government.
Yeah.
But so many things are happening, Kennedy, and most of these things are unprecedented things, things that you would never think about, you know? The president firing his CSs, the president finally seeming to calm down. These are things that the Gen Zs uprising to speak to the president. Now it's not even about Raila Odinga, who, these are things that, honestly, if anyone would see it, you would never have seen it coming, to be honest. But when he met Raila Odinga yesterday and everyone was on the thoughts that he wants another handshake government, I don't know if it happened overnight. In fact, I'm not even sure if this CS decision happened overnight or it was part of his plan. It could have happened overnight because maybe he saw that, maybe he had the uproar. Because you saw Raila Odinga, one day he was with Ruto, and the next day he comes and says that nimewasikia, nimesikia mnataka kunisalimia, kwa hivyo nimesikia mtaki dialogue, ni sawa. So you see, it's like they don't even know what they're doing. They are moving here and there, here and there. And now they have known that there is a voice, there is power with these people. So there is no time to mess up and bring us the same nonsense that we've been witnessing all over again and repeating the same mistakes that make us end up in the same place. So I don't think, okay, I'm confident to say that there will be no handshake government because the president is aware. He is aware. And you know, people, I've had a thought that Hitler became more dictatorial when people tried to rise up against him. And now there's a thought that the president would also be more dictatorial. I say, let him try it.
Let him try it. Do you agree that there will not be a handshake government?
The people will not allow for another handshake government. You remember Kenya was going to the dogs with Uhuru and Ruto in the previous regime. And then when a handshake happened, now we had 3 people doing the messing up of this nation. Kenyans have learned, and they are not going to allow for the opposition to go into bed with the government. The reason we are calling for William Ruto to step down is because he has showed his unwillingness to heed to the cry and the call of the people. If he did listen, we would not have a problem with him, because all we are asking is, you gave us a manifesto, we bought it. You are elected president. You took oath of office. You promised to deliver. You have not. Can you at least commit to go back to the oath you took? If he can, even though the evidence says he's not likely to, Kenyans have no problem with that. But we are raising eyebrows when he takes very decisive action, but then stops short of completing the swing. Today, he had an opportunity to earn my trust by actually firing the whole cabinet, starting with the prefect of the cabinet. But he failed to do so. The next thing, after he's done cleaning up the government, he needs to go back to his party. He has the backing of the political party's fund. He has the levers of power. He can show the way by cleaning that up too, so that the elections they are currently undertaking, they've been doing elections piecemeal.
Yeah.
They actually carry them out in a way that shows he's aware that he's been entrusted the responsibility of leading a great nation. Because Kenya is not a banana republic, and he should not act as though Kenyans are not aware of that fact. So we give him the benefit of the doubt between now and tomorrow, but by Friday, he should have fired Musalia Mudavadi if Musalia Mudavadi will not have resigned by then.
All right. Are we foreseeing any potential political alliances from this fallout in the cabinet?
Political alliances. I would say it's too early to tell because this space has been so dynamic. I think it's shifting by night. I really think it's shifting by night because, like I said, I'm not even sure if the president had purposed to fire his cabinet secretaries today, or it's because he saw something, or something came up in the meanwhile and he saw that was the best fit decision. So to say to form political alliances right now, this would be way too early because we don't even know if we'll get to 2027, you know? And then I have seen there are some politicians who want to take advantage of this whole thing. They want to take advantage of the Gen Z protests. They want to take advantage of the destabilization of government. And remember, Kennedy, we do need a government. It's very, very important to have a government. Not at one point should you sit and wish that we stayed in a lawless state, even for 1 hour, you know? So there are people who have tried to take advantage of this, starting with the politicians, leaders, people who have been hurt from the previous elections, people who have failed, they have missed a piece of the cake. So everyone has different reasons at this time. And at this heated time, in fact, I would urge Kenyans to relax and now start to re-strategize again because all of us have been on our high horses. But it takes time for us to relax, reflect, and then re-strategize on now what we want to go forward. Because even if we say we want to go to the streets, we can't go to the streets every day without accountability. We need accountability. So with the political alliances, those leaders most of them have their own different interests. And until things come to a place where we are now sober, now we can start thinking. And now thinking about that, I'm a proponent of progressive democracy. That I'm applauding this tape because I feel it's going to set a precedence for future leaders. Future leaders will now realize they should have realized that, yes, a long time ago, but they were lost and deluded in power, playing too much politics, forgetting about how politics should play. But now, it's an awakening. This protest, this whole thing has been an awakening to our leadership, to our government, that power belongs to the people. So you could be forming your alliances, but power belongs to the people. By 2027, I'm also optimistic that by 2027, we could be talking about ideologies. We could be talking about, did you build that road for us? How have you spent the CDF money? Are there enough schools? Is there enough medicine in hospitals? Is there enough personnel? So we won't be looking at you are ODM, you are UDA, you are what? You voted yes to the finance bill. You know, I feel those are the things we'll be looking at that time. So if we were to have political alliances right now, trust me, they will be dead by 2026 at the beginning. It will be out.
All right. Are we foreseeing formation of political alliances at the moment? Because we saw during the Uhuru Kenyatta government, when the fallout between Ruto and Uhuru came about, we saw the rise of the Tanga Tanga faction, which brought about the UDA. So are you going to see the same in this situation?
It's unlikely to happen, at least in the near future. Right now, the president is fighting for his own survival. And to do that, he must accede to the demands by the people. And the people at this point want him to deliver a few things that he should have delivered already. Number one, they started by saying, we are rejecting the finance bill. So that had to go. He did that. The march to State House was halted, or at least temporarily suspended. And then we went to item number 2. The cabinet needs to go. Today, he ceded to that demand, except he's not finished the job. Now, there is another item on queue, which is you need to reconstitute the IEBC, because the people are keen on recalling the members of parliament who sold them out when they said we do not want the Finance Bill 2024 becoming an act of parliament. So when he's done with that, he's going to have to address the other matters. And to get those done, you do not need to come together with anyone else in the name of organizing politically, because the people know that dialogue has not gotten them the results that they have desired. So still, no more dialogue. What political affiliations and alliances do is they sort of throw a rug on top of the trash. But then the trash is still beneath the surface. And the people at this point are not interested in band-aid. They want real solutions. So it's unlikely that within the next 6 months, political alliances are going to save these governments. What's going to save these governments is action. So we hope before the week ends, the whole cabinet is swept clean. After that's done, then we get to the other important matters that are not so critical. The government committed to hiring the intern doctors. Let them do that. Pensionable and permanent basis modes of employment for the JSS teachers. Those are quick wins for this government. If the president keeps delivering on such things, he will not need political alliances. That will buy him time.
All right. Now that the president has dissolved the cabinet, what next?
What next is looking at the office of the Prime CS, as Modiora says. I think the hashtag should be fix the system. Fix the entire system. He has dissolved the cabinet. That is a good step. He has said that he's going to deal with the burden of debt. He's going to raise domestic resources, expand job opportunities, and he has said that he wants to create an inexpensive, effective, and efficient government. And he's doing that through extensive consultations across different sectors of political formation, what he called a broad-based government approach. That he has said he's going to sit down and listen to multi-stakeholders, listen to experts, listen to people, listen to even us, the Gen Zs, civil society, not the IMF and creating a one-man show. So at the end of the day, we are still going to come back to talking. Though I didn't want to, I was never about dialogue, but with this tape, I feel like we should now come back to the drawing board, but not creating another report and then adding paperwork over more administrative paperwork. But what we want to see now are actions. Now, what he has done today, that was one action. We are talking about the Office of the Prime CS. That's also another action. Regaining our and restructuring our debt. We want to hear him listen to experts, what experts have their views. And you see, the good thing is that these experts also come and tell us that, you know, the president listens to us or he does not listen to us. So we want to see the tangible actions. Let him even give a report. Like I also said, apologize. First, apologize to Kenyans. Give a report by himself. The president until this time has not spoken or has not willingly admitted that these anti-finance protest bills led to loss of lives, destruction of property. We have abductions. No one is speaking about it. So there's still much to be done. And speaking about the cabinet restructuring, that will need an administrative framework. And the results will still come back to us because we'll still have to see what he has done. But what we want to see more are more handy actions, like what accountability of the protests. We want to see him speaking about the families that have lost their lives, because I saw some Kenyans on X saying that he boldly sent condolences to Bishop Kiuna, who, rest in peace, who passed away, but he has not even spoken about Rex Masai. He has not spoken about the young person who was found yesterday in a dam. So you see, we want action.
Actions. Muthiora, you actually vied for the presidency at some point.
Yes.
And what will you advise President William Ruto at this moment? What type of cabinet should he form next?
Number one, he needs to form a cabinet that fully conforms to the tenets of our constitution. One, without the position of a prime cabinet secretary. He needs to make it lean. He needs to make it effective. He needs to hire competent and suitable people who will not need instructions from his office to run the dockets they'll be manning. He needs to appoint a cabinet that is inspiring. Because what happened when he appointed the cabinet that has been serving is investors, and by investors I mean foreign investors, they would look at our cabinet and say, wait, what's going on in Kenya? And as they are thinking about it, they would take their money and put it in Tanzania, put it in Ethiopia, when in fact they would get better returns in our market. So if he is serious about surviving, which is a good thing, that right now William Ruto is fighting for his survival, then he needs not to make the same mistake. Kenya is blessed with a rich pool of human resource. Today I heard the ODM deputy party leader throw his credentials out there that he's willing to be part of the cabinet if appointed to serve. And I would like to tell the president that he needs not look at people who have served and their record does not scream from the rest. It's time for new ideas. Nobody thought that the Gen Z movement had as much power, but because they got an opportunity, we now know what a great nation this can be. Let him reach out to the rich human resource that Kenya has. Let him tap onto the passion of the youth. Let him tap onto this patriotism bug that has beaten Kenyans, and then let him back off and let those he appoints do the job. Kenyans want better for this nation. They are willing to give their all. Let him lead by example.
Lead by example. As we conclude, your final remarks. If you met the president, what will you tell him?
He has to gain public confidence and trust and legitimacy, because he really let us down, big time. He let us down in all ways. to a point where he would do something that is constitutional, but people would still say, is he really being honest? Or, you know, when a perennial liar says the truth, you don't know if it's true or it's just one of his lies. So he needs to get back that public confidence and let him work over and go aboard to get back the people to his side. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot, but he needs to do that. And also, yes, I talked about the steps, but really thinking about it, that office should be off. That office should be out. And that's why we're talking about building back public confidence, because you can't go into it half-heartedly. I have seen him talk about also clearing the political culture and the political etiquette that has been existing, that even he has been the leader of that, because he has been buying MPs left, right, and center. He has been using money to get his way here and there. So he said he'll do some soul searching, and I hope he has. Someone asked him to once see a therapist. I really think he should. It's not even a joke. He really should see that therapist, because if he's coming from a place where he was running a one-man show to come down to listen to the people, then he needs that peace and calm inside him to actually do that. So in clearing that political culture, because I heard him talk about the ESCC being stringent about Harambes, they need to put up a regulation about checking on MPs who are still using Harambes as a political tool. Now, things like that slowly might build up our political culture, and the people will decide whether they're satisfied with him or not. But he has to work his way and get back our trust.
All right. There's something you wanted to say?
Well, I suppose Kenyans are asking themselves, what's the end game? The end game is a great nation, one where every citizen abhors corruption, has values, and is willing to put Kenya first. That's the country we want William Ruto to point us to. And we all will work with him to get it done.
And also to finish, to crown it all, the fight against corruption doesn't just take the government only, but also the people. The fight against corruption, to better transparency, to better accountability, to having political ethics and social ethics, it also takes us as citizens. So as we keep our government accountable, let's also not accept handouts from the politicians. I loved it that we started it with Occupy churches. We said no politician should come to churches. So let us keep that fire on and not give up. Let us take the space and know that it takes us and them and all actors to get into that space, the better Kenya we want to be.
All right, it's actually a personal responsibility, and that's a good point to end our discussion tonight. That has been Muthiora Karriera, former presidential running mate, and Esther Nyonje, political risk analyst. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having us.
And with that, we come to the end of Hope TV Newswatch on this day. Many thanks to you for making time for us. We really do appreciate the value of your time. On behalf of the amazing team that made this bulletin a success, have yourselves a blessed night. My name is Kennedy Kimani.